Hi, everyone. I do see participants coming in as well. Thank you so much for taking our time today from your busy schedules to understand from our experts here on how India is making volunteering more impactful in 2023. So in terms of flow, what I'll do is I'll start by introducing who we are, what we do, and then we'll go around the panel and hear from our experts on what they have done. So just jumping on to a bit about Goodera. So Goodera is the world's leading employee volunteering platform, making volunteering accessible and engaging for workplaces. Goodera curates and executes in-person, hybrid, and virtual volunteering experiences. We have partnered with over 50,000 nonprofits across multiple thematic areas globally and empowering over 400 companies in corporate volunteerism, including 60 of the Fortune 500 companies. I myself have been part of Goodera for now 5 years, and I am part of the global engagement and solutions team. I essentially specialize in developing and scaling impactful volunteering engagement for corporates. Before I jump into introducing our speakers who've come, to give their insight on making volunteering more impactful through the webinar, this is for the participants. Through the webinar, you'll have some poll questions pop up on your screens. Please do participate in the polls. I would now like to introduce our speakers for today. We have with us award-winning CSR leader and UN project implementation, contributor, Mr. Akhil Iran, an experienced sustainability professional in insurance, IT, automotive industry, skilled in sustainable development, CSR, and ESG analysis. Mr. Iran holds a master's in sustainable resource management from Technical University of Munich. He is today leading NetApp's corporate citizenship initiatives. Thank you, Akhil, for taking out time to be with us today. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much, Gopika, for the introduction. I think it's an absolute honor and privilege to be here alongside Pooja and Amitabh Bhai. As much as I hope I'm able to add value to our collective and knowledge and past experiences. I'm very much looking forward to hear our co-panelists today. Thanks so much again, Gopika.
Thank you, Akhil. Next up, we have Amitabh Sinha from AXAL, who has over 20 years of experience in setting up new global clients and managing operations in multiple locations across the banking, financial services, and insurance domain. With a strong background in life, health, and general insurance, he has a proven track record of delivering exceptional results and driving growth in the insurance industry. Thank you, Amitabh, for joining us today.
Thank you, Gopika. Absolute pleasure. I think Akhil said it. It's lovely to be with all of you this morning. Let's hope I'm able to add value and we're able to demonstrate some of the good practices here at AXA.
Thank you, Amitabh. Pooja. So Pooja, we have Pooja Nair with us, who is the Associate Director at S&P Global and has over 14 years of experience in program management, customer service operations, stakeholder management, employee engagement, and event planning. Pooja has been with S&P since 2014 and is currently spearheading key projects involving India operations. Thank you so much, Pooja, for taking time today to be with us. Would you like to take the floor to say a few words?
Hey, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone who's joined today's session. I look forward to have this insightful conversation with our colleagues Akhil and Amitabh and Gopika here. Thank you for joining, and I'm sure what you hear from us is just our part of the story, but we would be interested to listen to your part of the story too while during the Q&A rounds. But yeah, great to hear and be here with all of you.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you so much for the quick round of introductions. Now, we'll start our interactive question and answer session where we hear from our experts on how organizations are making a difference today. So I'll start with the first question. And what we'll do is we'll go with the same question around the table. So just starting with, our first question, and probably Amitabh, I'll start with you. We would love to hear some of the key initiatives that your organization has undertaken to make volunteering more impactful in 2023.
Yeah, no, thank you, and great question, Gopika. So obviously this has been evolving over the years. Yeah? So since I started, I mean, I think unfortunately it seems I'm the eldest on this call, which is not a very good feeling. But yeah, so when I started back in 2001, so when we started, and it used to be very small scale, and the way it has evolved over the years, and what I see now, there's a complete paradigm shift. Yeah. So what we do specifically, which we are very proud of, we call it a global day of giving, and then it's not only in India that we do it. Any center across our 70 locations globally on that one day. This year it's on June 7th. Everyone volunteers, so you're not supposed to work. I mean, you're supposed to work, but you're technically out. And then the good thing is, because everyone's out, the email traffic is low. Everyone understands, and I mean, we get some great feedback on that. So the point is, we need to involve everyone. And then, of course, there are people who are over enthusiastic about it, very engaged. There are people who are on the fence, and then there are people who are there for selfies. So we live with that with that notion. But I think the good thing is, so many people come back after that and say that I would have never done it. I would have never gone to an orphanage. I would have never cleaned up a river. I would not have planted a tree if it wasn't for that. So that's where I think we need to pick it up at a, at the scale has changed, dramatically changed, and then that's where I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I think when we talk about like a focused day of service, it also gets like folks who probably wouldn't interact on a daily basis together. So creating like a more holistic, focused impact. Definitely very, very interesting to know.
And then one more point, if I may, I think as people on the fence, I think the most important, I personally think, is that those are where you need to convert, because if you don't do days like this, they go on the dark side, if I may use that paraphrase. But yeah, that's where I think I personally enjoy that part, when people come who said, I would not have done it, but now I want to, and then here's my details, and please call me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It also, makes us innovate more on the penetration strategy bit, on how to get like, to that person who wouldn't have even, thought of engaging. So I think that's very interesting to know. I'll take the same question to you, Pooja. Would love to hear from you as well on some of the key initiatives that, your organization has undertaken.
Sure. I think, I would just say the community impact, what we create. Earlier, we used to have a focus month or a focus day, but we have changed this format a couple of years back. And we say the Essential Impact Program. So that's the name of the volunteering efforts, what we keep. We name it internally, and that's throughout the year. So there is a time and place which we look at aligns with the business, aligns with the site nuances, what we look in, because S&P has offices in different cities. We make sure that volunteering efforts happen around the corner for throughout the year. And there are interventions by our colleagues in, as a team activity, what they would want to drive, or say, for example, this is a massive event, what we would have taken up during a lean period. And we work with different partners. Partners like yourself, the Goodera comes into the picture. We closely work with them and plan it, for the year. And we also work as a volunteering efforts with our NGO partners, where we have invested our grants. So we have designed our grant system in such a way that there is intervention which is happening on time and effort on a recurrence basis. Maybe it's a small cohort of people what is doing an intervention, but there is an intervention still happening. So there are different avenues, I would say, we have, but the essential aspect of the community support, what we do as an organization, we have 3 focus areas, what we really look into, and also above and beyond for anything which is aligned with an employee who has a close effort that they want to make a contribution or a support an NGO which is helping an elderly, helping an animal, shelter. These are avenues what we have, but we do make it a very process driven, wherein we make sure that there are projects which are really focused, wherein we're looking at STEM education, digital skilling. So employees in our organization get to partner with beneficiary outside and do mentoring, coaching, or even for that matter, training in those areas. We also have where we work with micro entrepreneurs across, where we work with women in the community. So we also have projects or events where we have a PRG groups, which is the people resource groups, as well as the voluntary group, which is the green and a core team, which is internally we have this committee known as they work with women in the community on different interventions. We do have environmental projects which we do around the corner, and we also partner with our sister organization CRISIL, and we do different projects. So there are different interventions what we do, and this year also we plan to do the same. And I think we've been in conversation with Goodera for the same too, and looking at how do we make an impact in the community with our efforts what we drive. Above all of this, we also have give back days, which I've spoken to you earlier. So we have for all the essential impact programs, what people are working behind the scenes, we have 5 give back days, which is a benefit which provide to the by the organization. So people who actually do community services of 40 hours in a year, they get 5 give back days. So that's something which we make it impactful. So it's like an overall effort what we try to put in as an organization. And volunteering is in our culture, and give back is in our culture, and that's something which we do. I think it's how we live and work. That's how we look at it. So that's what I would like to add on to the question what you had Gopik for us.
Absolutely, Pooja. Thank you so much for that. I think when we look at impact in a from a more holistic lens, we understand it is part of our culture from a very basic, like a day-to-day, functioning of our lives. So I think it's very interesting to also see it's not just impact focused days, but how you're enabling your volunteers through the year, not just by parking some time in terms of like 5 days, but also plugging in like the right opportunities for them, or say highlighting the right days. So I think that's great insight. And for our participants who are looking at from a strategy point of view as to how what kind of strategies can be utilized to essentially initiate these programs, it's a very interesting insight. Thanks, Pooja. Akhil, I'll take the same question to you as well. What are some of the key initiatives that say NetApp has undertaken for volunteering in 2023?
Thanks, Gopika. It's a really great question. And as I'm trying to answer this question, I'm also contemplating what my co-panelist shared with me. But before, I just want to take a pause and just clarify that for a corporate like us, enabling volunteering is just not to get our employees to support a social cause. I mean, that's definitely there, but most importantly, to connect our employees back to the core value of the company, right? Which is to take care of each other and people in our community. So this essentially means that we must have initiatives which promote the volunteering culture, right? And not just creating volunteering opportunities for the employees to participate in. I mean, better volunteering culture and corporate volunteering does feed into each other, right? But our ultimate aim is to enable individuals, right? Not employees, right? Individuals to step out, choose a cause and support that's dear to them, right? And in doing so, we want to be able to help them, empower them with the resources that as a company we can provide, right? So coming to the initiative, and very similar to what Pooja shared from S&P, we are very proud of giving our employees 5-day off, which is no questions asked, honorable system. Our employees can take 40 hours of paid time off to go in the communities and contribute however and whenever they want to, right? I mean, they just need to get a consent from the managers, and they go out and do the volunteering and come back, share their stories with us so that we can communicate those stories and inspire more volunteering, right? But we recently launched another initiative last year itself, which we call Match for Good, right? So we realized that, I mean, we want to empower employees to not only lend their skills time and resources, but we want to double down on that impact, right? And how we do it is we match for good. Essentially, in US, it's called dollar for doers. Right? So for every volunteering hour that our employees clock in doing volunteering services, we give them a reward of $15, right? Which means that if they are volunteering for 10 hours, they would accumulate $150 for just that particular initiative, right? And they can choose any NGO, non-profit organization across the globe from the database that we have, and to donate it back to that organization, right? They can, so for example, if I'm working for Akshapatra, I can not only volunteer my time to support that cause, but when I come back, I can also donate in the financial terms, right? So I think this is really helping us to promote that culture, right? And apart from this, we also made had some subtle initiatives last year based on the experiences and COVID changed a lot of things in the world of volunteering. So we are learning a lot, and we are focusing a lot in terms of how we can get better, essentially in the area of communication, right? We realized that volunteers need more clearer communication to be able to make informed decisions, right? We also creating more dedicated channels for volunteers to come together, talk about new ideas, talk about the gratification, talk about, there's a sense of close community. And as we are in the post-COVID world, we all are not in office, and not probably everyone likes the idea of being in office all 5 days, right? So given the chance, what I think as an employee, I would like is to meet with other people as a team, right? So we have really sort of tapped into those opportunities where we can create more team volunteering opportunities. And as a result, we have seen that, a lot of team across functions and are reaching out to us saying that, okay, we are planning to meet on that particular day, and we'll be meeting for, let's say, all hands, or some team meetings, but we would also like to leverage that as a team volunteering activity, and it's becoming massive. It's becoming a phenomenon for us at NetApp. And not to say, I think this is a low touch initiative wherein we are tapping into the talent of our new joinees. In our orientation program itself, we are giving them some sort of rewards to upfront when they join, to sort of catch their interest early and get them going into a social impact program. So lot of initiatives, some are working well, some are still in pipeline. We're trying to create a balance between skill-based volunteering to time-based volunteering, right? We are also trying to, as Pooja said, and I think it's very critical to any of the CSR program that we do, is to design volunteering in our CSR program, right? So so some of these are some of the initiatives that we are doing.
Yeah. I think great insight. Of course, across the board, a lot of initiatives, but I think the biggest understanding that we have from this is there's more of a need for a culture of volunteering versus, hitting certain numbers. And then there are different enablers here. Like you spoke about enabling champions, like, what is dear to you, and then as an organization we'll enable it. Pooja mentioned enabling it through, say, an annual calendar, a cultural calendar. Amitabh mentioned impact day of service, just getting the right opportunities in place to, if a thought of volunteering has come to an employee's mind, they have more than enough avenues to tap into it and be more encouraged that, well, hey, this is something my org supports as well. So I think that's great to know. And you also mentioned a point on how you're growing this program, like you're backing it with, feedback, the feedback loop from, like, the volunteers are telling you where to go. And I think my next question is in relation to this. It's essentially on how technology also plays a role in increasing reach and impact of volunteering in India. And I think I'll again start with you, Amitabh, on, how has essentially technology played a role in increasing the reach and impact of volunteering in India?
Sure. And of course, the whole landscape changed for everything, and they did not leave us untouched. Back in 2020 March, when our Prime Minister decided to lock down the country. And obviously, everyone wanted to donate money. And I mean, there was a lot of buzz about how we spend our 2%. But I think the volunteering was definitely not on anyone's mind, at least in that first week of what was going on. And that's where I think organizations like yourself, Gopika and Goodera, stepped up and said that let's start getting done with it. And I still remember the first time I presented it in my leadership team meeting. People like, are you really sure that this can work? Because I think the first session we were trying to do was a storytelling session when people can log in and yeah, they can listen into the story. And then there was a podcast, and then you get more creative about it, and you got it on the and then all kinds of things started coming in. So I think definitely none of it could have happened without technology. It obviously changed the whole landscape. It obviously made us more conscious of things we need to. It doesn't need to be on the back burner. Yeah, it doesn't have to be dropped out. We can continue the way we used to. Global Day of Giving, which I just spoke about, became Voluntary Day of Giving, which means virtual day of giving, actually. So from global, it became virtual, and then we still did all those activities we would have. We still were able to engage a large population. We do give 2 days, very similar to Akhil, what you said, and Pooja, you touched upon. So you do get 2 days of voluntary leave. So you could actually do your volunteering work and exactly the same. So people started doing it virtually. Yeah. Of course, it had its own set of challenges, how to navigate the Zoom, how to do your MS Teams right, how do you interlink between the two different technologies. But I think in the long term, people have got used to it.
I hope it's not my network.
Yes.
From Amitabh's side, okay.
We'll just give it a minute. I think when he touched upon challenges, I think this was also like one challenge all of us were grappling through in the virtual space. Great. I think great. I'll actually take this question to you, Pooja. We'll wait for Amitabh to touch upon it once his network issue is resolved. So the same question for you as well, Pooja, in terms of technology, how has technology played a role in increasing the reach and impact of volunteering in India in the past year?
Yeah, I think technology has really empowered a lot of us, especially in different space, and volunteering has been one quite essential aspect to it. For us, we have a volunteering in-house platform. We do have a platform where each employee is can actually log in, and we have internal platform which is supported globally, where employees can actually apply for volunteering grants to do an individual or a team volunteering activity. And this is something which the S&P Global Foundation supported. So this is not the 2% of the CSR fund, but this is part of the FCRA fund which comes in. And we do have partners like yourself and all other NGO partners which we have worked, who is aligned to this platform, has been a part where we have done volunteering efforts. So that platform which has been built for colleagues has been helpful. But I would also like to touch upon what Amitabh was sharing. I think COVID has taught a lot of things to all of us when it comes to volunteering and CR efforts, which was something which we had to do, given whatever areas we were in, where we were not allowed to step out. I think with all the support from our internal Green and Co team, which is a community with what we have here in S&P, as well as with our leadership and with partners like yourself, Goodera came in, and we were given avenues to do virtual volunteering. And it was first of its kind. Like this, internet was the challenge. We had issues with the system. How do we build this? So that given few hours, what an employee sharing, interacting with the beneficiaries, or creating a virtual platform, virtual material for a school or a student. Whatever activities we have taken, we've been able to deliver or create an impact. That was the focus area. And given that, I said in 2020, we had around 900 plus colleagues of ours who really participated. Following next year, we had almost a similar number where colleagues participated. That means virtual volunteering really worked out well. We learned a lot from each of these instances, and the Goodera team, the NGO partners which we worked in, because we had taken diverse events across at that point in time. So it was just not mentoring what we did. We did different interventions through these volunteering efforts. We had like a 2-week straight volunteering weeks, what we had adopted. And each day we had a volunteering event. So different cohort of participated in these events. So all the technology enablement which was being done, I think that supported, but it had challenges too. But I think we had a strong team which which is focused on creating an impact. I think that was very essential. And wherever we couldn't, because of the reasons of technical glitches, what we had, we made sure that we went back and understood with that, how do we really have those conversation back, even if it's not on the same day. So we tried our best. And then I think the platform, what is offered by our internal colleagues, we do have avenues like matching gift programs. So during the times of crisis or even outside, we have where an employee who contributes to a specific cause which is aligned to this platform, organization makes a matching donation to it. So that's an important essential aspect which we really call it out, and our colleagues are making a benefit out of it. I talked about essential impact program. It's a team and an individual grant model which an employee can actually apply for an application and pick up a project which is close to them. So that's also globally available for colleagues across S&P. I think these are avenues which has enabled through technology, and lot many, which has empowered us to make volunteering, I would say, aligned to the requirement of the young generation of people what we have, either which ways, young or old. I think it's quite essential in the current era where people are working from home, also working from office. And I think Akhil spoke about the hybrid model. So how do we really align that? So I think it really plays an essential aspect to it, and I feel it is enable volunteering and CSR in a total different manner. So that's what I could say about this this space of it.
Absolutely. I think it's been a learning curve for all of us, just being so involved with technology and yet having such a huge learning curve when it came to implementing it has been an exciting journey, I think. On both sides, for us as the volunteers and also for the beneficiaries on the other end. So I think that's interesting. I'll take the same question to you, Akhil. Just on your thoughts on the role of technology in this space.
I think to put it simply, technology has given a huge spin to the world of volunteering, right? For reasons known and for unknown, right? I remember in my college days, I think we as a youth, we wanted to do a lot, go out and do volunteering, but I think we did not know where to go and how to go about it, right? Leave alone the knowledge of aspects of the benefit of volunteering, skill building, long-term, short-term impact, etc. But now you can, right? And with platform like Goodera, it has made the discovery, the operations, the execution, a lot of these operations in an automated and timely fashion, right? You can choose from the platform which volunteering opportunities that you are most interested in, which suits your calendar, location preference. With a click of button, you can count me in, right? In many part of organizations, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, another challenge that we were grappling with was, how do we track the volunteering count, and how do we make use of the so we used to go out and take manual signatures, right? And I'm talking about the operation side of being a volunteer manager, right?
Yeah.
So this manual signature thing, this tracking of volunteering hours and volunteers is a thing of the past now, right? The technology now allows you to perform these basic operations faster and efficient, right? So this not only adds to the ease of work for the manager, but it also provides a seamless volunteering experience, right?
Mhm.
It helps you ease in tracking volunteer contribution. And when you are able to track more volunteer contribution, you can up your game in terms of volunteer recognition practice, right? Which
Absolutely.
is
Yeah.
very, very critical to the entire world of volunteering.
Correct.
In case of virtual volunteering, Pooja and Amitabh has talked about it. It's only possible because we are relying on technology, and it has given a scale to a next level. Right? We do have challenges when it comes to technology. We are still figuring it out. I think there is one of our signature program called Data Explorers, where we are taking the data sciences learning back in schools, right? We are teaching core concept of data sciencing and data sciences, and it's entirely being run on technology platform, on Zoom platform, right? And employee volunteering is also very, very critical component to it. So they are mentoring these students again on Zoom platform, but and at the same time they are able to build that relationship also, because I think we have evolved. We're not using
Yeah.
Zoom platform or technology platform for volunteering, but essentially for each and every other piece of the corporate work that we are doing, right? So I think we are working collectively on the issues that are there in terms of technology, but the benefits are innumerable, and it has changed the entire game. Social media, again, an example of technology. It's such a powerful tool. I mean, we are talking so much about we are sharing stories, right, about volunteering, about transformation, about impact, and that inspire people, that bring folks together, right? So I mean, at NetApp we have seen how it has given us the benefits, how it has brought the community at NetApp together, because we're able to give these flexibilities of interface between us and employees and beneficiaries and NGOs and whatnot. So I mean, it can take hours to talk about the benefits of technology that we have been leveraging and enjoying in the past recent years.
Yeah. I think great points. It's also very interesting to know how working in different organizations and also very different stakeholder management that you, Pooja, are doing, and then what we are doing. But I think the crux of the matter remains the same: how all of us have been able to tap into technology, not just to scale, but also um, reach. Like, the penetration has been amazing just because of tapping into this bit of it. I think that's great insight. I'll quickly move on to the next question, which is also in continuation to what you were mentioning, Akhil, on how to keep it more ongoing, right? Like tapping into the volunteers for that. And Pooja, I think we can start with you on this question, wherein how can organizations and individuals, I've just broadened the scope of this, can collaborate to create a more effective and sustainable volunteering system. So this is there's also a question from the audience, and I think I can plug it in here, wherein a participant asks you, Pooja, that you said like 40 hours of community service. Is this driven centrally by your organization, or is it more like champion driven at the last mile?
It is actually driven by the organization. It's one of the benefit which has been provided by the organization. As I mentioned, for S&P, people, it is a people first organization, believes in providing areas where people have avenues to be close to what is something which they would want to do, for the community. And I think there are different avenues provided in terms of programs, in terms of benefits, what we look at. So it's one of the program, and it's aligned and it's systematically driven through the platform what we have internally for our colleagues, so that they can lock in that hours. And we have a system where in a year we do a check balance of how many hours we have contributed as an organization. So we've been able to track this through this tool, and so it's definitely organization driven. But we, as in each of our countries, we have green and core team members who make sure that each of these events are being locked in through the system, so that there is this benefit is adopted by the employee who is making an impact in the community through different intervention, whether it is a plan one driven on a massive scale, or is it a team activity they have picked up because it's a lean time for them and they want to do this activity. So we do have system inbuilt, and especially for organization which has unlike what we have the employee base here, which is 12,000 plus, we need technology to kind of enable us to do this. So yeah, to your question, it's definitely something which is not driven by an individual team leads or anything. It's an organization level what we have, and we have systems built around it.
Amazing. I think that's great to know that at this scale also with, n number of employees, you are able to provide that support from an options perspective. I think a lot of participants here also who are looking at initiating, their CSR strategy, the first question is this, that how do you reach everyone, right? Like, especially with this whole hybrid model. So I think that's very, very great insight as to how orgs are really thinking about it. Akhil, I take the same question to you. And so it's basically on how, NetApp or say organizations and individuals in India collaborate to create a more effective, sustainable volunteering ecosystem.
So I think the answer is really in leveraging the strength of each other, right? Organizations are powerhouse with endless resources, right? We have technology, we have partners like yourself. I mean, we have all finances available at our disposal. We have infrastructure, network, government relationship. And if we can bring all this together in a partnership, I mean, this can do wonders, and it has done wonders in the past, right? I think we have platforms in India where NGOs offer multiple ways, and not just NGOs, corporates, multiple ways individuals can volunteer. And I think we just need to strengthen that. I mean, whatever we are doing at a corporate level is definitely there to help our employees. But I think there is a enormous wealth of our youth, which is available in a country like us to tap onto, right? I mean, we have seen examples of Robin Hood Army is entirely running on the strength of volunteers, and they're able to do it very effectively. Yeah, I mean, they're very close-knit community, very passionate community, and they are linked to the one purpose, right, which is to eradicate the hunger. So it's the answer is in building a framework which has less friction, right, which connects people with the right cause, which has some sort of incentivize, which has right communication, and which basically also communicates the impact back to the volunteers. I think as a volunteer, it's very important, and I do make sure that in all my volunteering program, we are communicating the impact back to volunteers, because more than any sort of incentives, I think what volunteers would like to know is how I, as an individual, was able to create an impact, right? So that story is important, right? That actually sticks, and it brings them back to do volunteers, and word of mouth is very, very strong in that case.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to make a program more holistic, this is like the crux of it, how to get that individual motivated to pass the baton. So I think I quickly take this question to Amitav also. Amitav, how can organizations and individuals collaborate to create a more effective, sustainable volunteering ecosystem?
I'll take that. But before that, we were talking about technology, and technology gave up on us, so which was good. And then I can, as I was saying, I don't know how much did you hear last time. If this was 2 years back, there would be panic, and all of us were so relaxed. I was getting emails, and this is what it has happened. Yeah, so we all have become very no one panics anymore, and no one gets very unhappy about the technology not working. We all take it in our stride. So to the earlier question, that's just a live demo of how technology is evolving when we're doing volunteering. But coming to your question, I think the scale, and I think Akhil, you just touched upon it. Yeah, the scale can only come in when we come together. Yeah, when we collaborate. I mean, that's the only way forward. I mean, if you want to do small things, we've been doing it. But if you so as they say, if you want to do something fast, do it alone. But if you want to do something big, then you have to get everyone along. So I think we've passed those things, yeah, smaller things which we wanted to do, plant 100 trees, do whatever, clean up a certain area, go to an orphanage. But now I think we have to pick up the bigger ones, yeah, the bigger battles. So I'm here in Bangalore. We definitely need to do something about our traffic problem. Yeah? So we need to all come together, yeah. Be it the lakes, it's really nice to see that happening, yeah, with platforms like yourself, Goodera doing it, some others chipping in, even the builders coming together, and then they're making these communities. Yeah? I did talk about my daughter a little earlier. And it's so amazing to see some of the NGOs we go to. My daughter knows them because she says, "Yeah, Dad, I know. Yeah, we've been there. They do these things, and it's a great place to be." And then she's 5. Yeah, she's all of 5. So I think we're getting the children involved at the right age. I don't think we used to do that. I mean, the only volunteering program I remember in our school was Each One Teach One, in which we used to get a certificate, and we never taught anyone anything at the end of. So yes, I think the way forward is to get all of these together, and it's very important for organizations like Goodera to take a pole position over there. Yeah, and again, I think Akhil, I completely agree with you. You said you tie it back to the volunteer. You need to know. I mean, the generation we see right now needs to know if they're making an impact. I mean, we were a generation where we wanted these certificates. I mean, that was our education. Yeah, you get the certificate and that's it. I think those don't work anymore. You give a certificate, they're like, okay, but I didn't see the actual impact happening. I didn't see things changing around me. So you have to get that change, and you need to ensure that organizations like yourself collaborate more. And lastly, I think with the whole ESG catching stream, yeah, with everyone talking about it, we need to, as an industry, come together, as community, come together, as ecosystem to come together. The government needs to step in. So it's getting there, but it's there's some mileage to cover. But I'm sure it's definitely way ahead of where we were when we were growing up.
Absolutely. I think very, very interesting points you covered on, involving kids at an age, because then they are our future leaders. So just embedding it at that, level. I think you touched upon the volunteering that you did in school, also in like our day-to-day, right? Like just going, like it's a birthday, we're distributing food, so on and so forth, in our small capacity. So I think just embedding that, calling it volunteering, you don't get to know, right? Like these terms. So I think that's, again, very, very essential. I'll go to the next question. I think I'll start with you, Pooja. Some of the key challenges faced by volunteers and how potentially we can address them. This is something a lot of participants while registering also were talking about. So I think challenges goes hand in hand with technology and also like new volunteering initiatives. So would love to hear your point of view on this.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it earlier. I think one of the major challenges what we had when we spoke about technology, I think, is definitely the internet when we had the virtual volunteering and the system challenges what we had. Even looking at the beneficiary cohort, what we are supporting, do they have the proper avenues to actually be part of that virtual volunteering? So we think that we have a system, but do the beneficiary on the other side had it? So I think there has been many challenges even pre-COVID time when we did in person. And when you do a massive event, I know as some events which we do with partnering groups like Goodera or any, some during the lean periods we do, and during the 2H of the year, which usually we do, is a massive one which we take for 2 weeks, and then we target to do around 1,500 to 2,000 employees group doing this volunteering, and every day there is an event. So imagine the amount of team effort what we need to put in to make sure that each one of them who is having a volunteering event in office, outside office, has all the support system, briefing has been done, all the even coordination has been done with the partners. And then we do have a system which we have built in, which is like a team event leads. So each event has event team leads, and we create 2 event partners together, so that in case if one is out, another is a backup for us. And the model which we have has helped us multiple times. It has also failed at multiple times, but then no, I think some of these challenges are something which has created event impactful. Some have been created events where they did not see an impact coming out because of a lot of challenges. So I think it's very difficult to call out at what has worked out well, but I can just tell you that the massive coordination which goes out, for both, which is in person or virtual, is extensive, because the whole idea about any volunteering effort is to make sure that the beneficiary gets the impact from that intervention which is done by the volunteer, as well as the volunteer has that time and effort taken by from the business hours, is making an effort and feels that yes, he or she could actually do a bit what they had thought about, because these are like one-time efforts what we're trying to do. But in our model, in past few years, we also made sure that we have interventions through a grant model too. So if we pick up a project from the 2% of the CR, we make sure we have volunteering efforts aligned to it. So there is a multiple interventions which is done, and we see an effect of it. Some of the examples and challenges I can say is that when we have a project where we actually supporting engineering students with their tuition fees, we do have interventions with them where we have a talent acquisition team. Leaders actually interact with these students during course of time when they are on their third year of engineering or fourth year of engineering, and make sure that they have interventions where they can actually understand what's going to be the work life environment going to be, how they really have to, the TA team works on enabling them that how the LinkedIn model, LinkedIn portfolio should look like. But given the fact that some of these interventions also fall out for a lot of reasons, is because when we also see the students from the community which they're coming from, what's their background looks like, are we really able to make an impact out of it? So it's a win-win, I would say. The other challenges which I can talk about is even the given current model, what we're talking about, we have an hybrid environment. We want to make sure that all our volunteers do have an in-person as well as an hybrid one, right? But the question for a lot of us, and I think my co-colleagues will also look at that, we've been asked to come to work, but do we want to go for an in-person one now or a virtual one? No. So I think there are avenues which we can really look at. Each challenge has a total different I would say face to it. But at a point in time, I can only say that those challenges which came through all the coordination which I have done, and I can only talk about the efforts what I've driven for the organization. It has helped us because a lot of people had a common goal, that is to make an impact through their efforts, and make sure that it has, if not A plan works, B plan is there. And if you're not able to make an impact, we try and see, okay, what best we can do next time. We take a lot of learning out of the interventions what we do. So we have done that in all the virtual volunteering. The first one which we introduced in 2020, it didn't go that well as we expected, because a lot of internet issues were there. But we made sure that we had a better model, and we sat with Goodera and we made sure there's a better model. And next time when we did, it was much better. So I think each time, each instances has taught us something, but I think we do have this interventions post each of the events, just to make sure what really went out well, what did not went out well, so that we come up with a better plan next time. So that's something which we've been able to do, and this has helped us by far. But some sort of problems are problems, and that's something which we have to build with.
Absolutely. I think it's a learning curve, on this front. So great. Thanks, Pooja. I'll take the same question very quickly to you as well, Akhil, in terms of, challenges, how we are addressing it.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
So I think what we have seen, especially in the post-COVID world, is, since we do not really have a boundary between home and work, the sense towards volunteering has also changed. right? We're not used to be on roads as much as we used to be in pre-COVID world. Our priorities have slightly shifted, and probably because, I mean, I do not have statistics to prove this, but there is more interest towards one-off, low-touch initiatives. And it might be completely unique to a corporate like us, because our policy to return to work is different to the policy of some other corporates. But there seems to be a general lack of long-term commitment. So and we focus a lot on not just providing volunteers to go and do any social issue, but also ultimately help them build some skills, right? So the most of voluntary activities planned are around our. So now that we have opened up the in-person volunteering, we are doing a lot around office locations. We try to do, our sphere of influence and impact somehow reduced. We have seen limited volunteering preference for opportunities, for example, in rural belt, right? Because of limited network, or because people are staying housed, and because of reachability and feasibility aspects. So a solution to this specific set of problem that we are working on is really trying to create a more diverse portfolio of volunteering opportunities at NetApp. To be able for us to give a balanced approach, keeping in mind that we not only give them low touch, one-time effort, short-term opportunities, but also long-term, or opportunities which act as ad hoc to my CSR program, right? Or opportunities which are more strategic in nature, right? And we are trying in most instances of volunteering delivered by us, so we are able to, as I mentioned, communicate the impact back to volunteers also, right? I think two big initiatives. One is we're launching skill-based, as I mentioned, and the other is we are also delivering an ambassador program, right? The idea of that program is to give employees the driver's seat, right? We as a CSR team, we can do only much, right? So we want to create an army of ambassadors who are empowered to create their own volunteering opportunities, and ultimately they can invite their friends and colleagues, right? So we are creating an ambassador program with a toolkit of resources that, for the interested volunteers, that kit can come very handy, right? So we are ultimately trying to, as I said in the beginning, trying to inculcate that culture of volunteering through different avenues.
I think great insight there, Akhil. Just how, and also what we see across the board is how we do face similar challenges, right? And how our approach is, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, but then again, we're just learning and graduating from it. I think I'll take my next question to Amitabh. And while, we were, chatting, we'd had a lot of questions from our participants as well. So Amitabh, what I'll try to do is I'll try to include 1 or 2 points there, just to cover that as well. So I think the biggest question a lot of participants have here, and now we also see corporates talking in that tone, is what can be done to encourage more young people to, take up volunteering and make it part of their social responsibility. We have a question from the participants here which says, are there any rewards recognitions that we can enable? Should we look at one-time volunteering versus long-term? How do you encourage employees in general to, take this up?
Well, my saying is reward for volunteering is volunteering. But good question. Yeah, what is in it for me? I think the question more, if I may paraphrase it, is what is in it for me? Why should I be doing it? And I think this is where the next generation, at least more and more people, youngsters I speak with, it's not that they don't want to, they're not socially active. It's more that they want to see the result. It can't be a lip service. And then a lot of times, as I said, unfortunately, our education system, at least in our generation, was a lot of things were lip service. You do it as a tick mark because you have to do it. Yeah? And then there's one of those 10 items you have to tick mark on. But now I think that doesn't work. Yeah? It cannot be a lip service. It has to be what is coming across. Will I see a difference? So if I am going to plant 10 trees, maybe I'll see a difference. But if I'm going to plant a forest, can I convert a... So what we saw is when we said, okay, we'll pick up a piece of land, plant 45,000 trees there. Yeah, there was a lot of skepticism, cannot be done. But slowly as it graduated, now everyone, I mean, it's all over social media. Everyone wants to get their families there. They're encouraging other people to do it. And we're getting questions like, when can we have it again? Yeah, we want to do another one. So that's what I think we have realized, that you have to have to find a way where the impact is actually visible to them. Yeah. The good thing is there's willingness. There's infrastructure like things like Goodera, who get us the platform. There is social consciousness, yeah, where everyone is now talking about these things more openly. Yeah. The money is flowing in with the government saying 2%. Every organization like all of us on this panel have to do it. And the government and private parties are willing to work more together. There's less suspicion the moment you say government, and there's less suspicion to say that they're just for profit, they're just trying to do something. So I personally feel things are coming together. It's a great time where everything, all the elements are coming together, and it's a unique opportunity for any generation which we have at the moment. Yeah? If we do it right, I think there'll be generations which will remember us. If we mess it up, again, we'll not be remembered in history as a very good good generation which was there. Because if we don't do it now, I mean, with the challenges, probably we'll not have the planet, right? With the climate change, with the inflation, with the so it's now or never. I personally feel I'm a very realistic person. I won't call myself optimistic or pessimistic. I think we can really do it. We can make that difference now.
Absolutely. Thanks, Amitabh. It was, I threw a lot of questions at you in one question, but thank you for covering that. I'll take the same question, to you, Pooja, in terms of how best can we encourage, employees, along with what kind of benefits we can do, what kind of reward systems we can enable to, get that footfall. I think that's one question for a lot of organizations. So there are volunteering initiatives in place, but how do you get folks to participate?
Yeah, I think I think the first and foremost thing is for volunteering, there has to be that passion and commitment from a people. You can't enforce people to volunteer. You might want to do it once and twice, but not that's something which they would really. So I think each of our volunteering efforts, if we can align it to the value system, what we believe in, it's a culture for us that it's not just one of the even you do in the year. No, it's just not an engagement aspect. It's also something which you have, and you have a privilege in terms of whether it's a skill you're teaching someone, whether it's a time what you're spending with somebody, whether it's just even planting a tree, or if for that matter you're creating some kind of a material for the beneficiary group who's going to use them. I think just have to show that impact. That's very important. Right? Every time when we drive this volunteering programs, and the first and foremost thing what we try to show when we put the description out for people to pick volunteering programs for themselves is to also show that what impact they can create. And if that aligns with their core values, yes, they choose that. We have diversified volunteering efforts, what we pick up during the these volunteering weeks, what we do, or even for that matter in the platform. And that is something close to them. Even for the Essential Impact Program, which I mentioned earlier, people pick up projects which are a lot close to them. I think that allows them to kind of find team members who have the same interest or same interest of areas to invest their funds, what they are actually applying for, whether it's through the application, what they're doing through the FCRA funds the foundation is providing, or for that matter, when we are aligning our 2% of the CSR investment to the focus areas, which I mentioned earlier, there is any alignment to it, we make sure that there is time and effort they want to invest in. No, it's not something we are asking them to do it. I think it's all about that foundation that we're building for our people, where they feel that whatever they are doing, it's creating an impact, and it's not one-way learning, it's a two-way learning process anywhere, even in the volunteering space. I personally have done during the times of COVID, and I can tell you the beneficiaries which have spoken, they have taught me a lot, and I always feel privileged for the the avenues what I have and the and the areas where I've been able to do I do not complain. I do not complain after any volunteering. So I think it's all about how do you build that culture and really align to the values of the people, and make them really understand and tell their story. I think each volunteering, each CR effort, what you do, please tell the story to the people so that they feel that what an organization is doing, if this interests them, be a part of it. That's the thumb line, I would say.
Great. Thanks, Pooja. Very interesting to have that insight also in terms of, what essentially gets people going. Just we are about time and I think a bit over. I have tried to cover a few, questions from the participants also. I'll just go around the table to, just get some closing remarks in terms of, so for this is essentially for our participants, and in the questions also we saw a lot of people want to know how do you start, what next, right? So Akhil, over to you.
Thanks, Gopika. I think volunteering in the corporate world has, earned its respect, right, in the recent past. But I feel that it is still not the favorite child, right?
Yeah.
We all understand the relationship between volunteering and employee engagement, and how it acts as a lever to talent attraction, retention, in fact, profits, right? There are studies out there which talks about volunteering in relation to, how it returns, how it makes more profit for the corporate. But we still have a lot, we still have a lot to do, right, to make it mainstream. And we can do this only by showing the value and the impact. And I think panelists have done a great job in highlighting the need to talk about the impact, right, and how it transforms lives, not just for the beneficiaries, but for the volunteer itself, right? We have talked about impact, communication, diversification of volunteering so that we catch the interest of different people. We have talked about hybrid model. We all understand the importance of appreciation in volunteering. But I think there is one thing which is something that we at NetApp are trying to work more, is to for the volunteers to be able to call out the skills and competencies that the volunteers who are lending their time have, but they also acquire in many cases, and they build new competencies and skills over the time doing or indulging in these volunteering activities, because it just not only helps to put that light on the work that the employee has done, but it's also a great way to tap onto the youth that we have in the country, right? And I think it's one of the great way to capture youth, and for us maybe in future, as an endeavor for the corporate to be able to design programs which catch the youth through volunteering, right? So that's my 2 cents, and this is something work in progress, and we are learning along the way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Akhil. Amitabh, any closing remarks from your side?
Yeah, I think we're way out of time, but everything has been said. I'd say one of my ex-bosses always used to say, if Gandhiji would have thought that I will only go for the Dandi March when everyone comes here, about 1 million people here, it would have never happened. He just started and people just joined in. So my view is still the same. It derives me a lot of time. Get started, and whoever is interested will join in, and then you make it interesting for others to join in, just like our father of our nation did it. So let's go for it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amitabh. Just Pooja, any closing remarks from your side?
I think volunteering or any CR efforts, I think tell the story to the people, in the medium which is close to them, whether it's a social media or internal communication, and make sure that they understand the impact created. So I think that's very essential, and that's what I've seen also, which has made them time and again come back and ask for more. And the last I can just say happy volunteering for who's really exploring on this aspect.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's been a great session. A big thank you to our speakers for their insights that, they've shared on how their businesses are scaling and, what to do next. And each one of you has also touched upon like basic questions that all of us have, not just being part of a corporate, but the NGO side as well. How do you start? How do you scale? How do you recognize? So I think, thank you so much for that. It's been very informative and engaging. This is for the participants, really. You will see now a feedback survey coming your way. Please do give your feedback. And just like we conclude any and all Goodera, engagements, we'll quickly pause for a selfie with our panelists. So on the count of 3, 1, 2. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for taking our time. It's been great, getting started on a Friday with this kind of a conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gopika,
Thank you
and
so
happy
much,
Friday
Gopika.
to everyone.
Thank you, Goodera.
Happy Friday.
Bye.